Attention, please. Important part. The recording needs to start. It is time to begin. Guests and members, join in. To all of you who joined the meeting, we extend our warmest greeting. Every month we meet on Fridays, just the first and the third. We prepare inspiring speeches and enjoy the spoken word. After every presentation, we provide evaluation, with the best intent, just to help our members grow. Dear guests, please be prepared. You may also be called on. Everybody should contribute to Table Topics Marathon. Whether you are guest or member, we will ask you to remember your cell phones should be muted and the ether not polluted with the sounds of faint pets. And there is one more request. Your unnecessary actions can be looked at as distractions. Let them stay behind the scene. For a while, turn off the screen. But as soon as you are done, turn the camera back on. And here is another warning. We are making a recording. If you don't want your face to show, it's no problem. Just let us know. And don't you worry. In that case, no one will see your face. Let's get started. Take your places. Nice to see your smiling faces. Our president, Sandra Savage, charming, humorous, and more, cannot wait to take the floor.
Thank you, Tamara, and happy 2025. Who would have thunk when we were born that we'd be saying it, you're that large? I know I didn't even think about it. It was beyond the scope of my imagination at that time, but thankfully we are here and we are here together. A small group today, but we're going to give it extra attention, especially since we're small, because we have to give the feedback that helps each other grow in our communication, listening, and leadership skills. Thankfully, I'm exhausted from 2025 beginning, and so I have someone to help me with the meeting today, and that is Jon White. He's our Toastmaster of the day. Jon, can I turn the meeting over to you, please?
That would be great. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to everyone. Our theme today is change, but start slowly because direction is more important than speed. I will be directing my change towards health. That means walking, nutrition, diet. Ray, I've even been told I lean back in my posture. I'm changing my posture, even at this advanced age. And also I'm looking to get work and to continue being a leader in Toastmaster. So I wish you all healthful changes. Be patient with yourself and be careful where you aim, Harold. With that, I'd like to introduce the functionaries of the day. Working with us will be the Zoom Master, Sandra Savage, DTM. What will you be doing?
Mainly, I'm going to make sure if you're a speaker, evaluator, or other role that you're speaking, I'm going to pin you. So prepare to be on camera, on the recording, and with your camera on.
Wonderful, thank you. Pamela Brody, you've got a big role today. You want to explain general evaluator?
Yeah, my first time stepping into the role.
Congrats.
So I hope to serve you well. I will be evaluating the whole meeting from the beginning and the evaluators and how things run smoothly and the beautiful essence of change. What a great topic. I looked up, I think we all need a joke to start. So, the doctor said I had 6 months to live. So I shot him and I got 50 years in prison. So deal worked out, right? Problem solved. So I don't want to judge too much from the that's why I have the backdrop, of course, right? From prison over here. Anyways, back to you. Wonderful Toastmaster. I'm looking forward.
Thank you. Nothing like prison humor to start the new year.
Exactly.
I'm making a pregnant pause as we transition, have a little space, so we transition with a clean slate to, gosh, she's busy, but I think she could do it. Word of the day, grammarian and odd counter. That's a full plate, Kathy Choice.
Yeah, but I'm capable. Sometimes.
Always.
All the time, just sometimes. Okay, the word of the day, which is in the chat, is inchoate, which means not yet capable or fully developed, not organized or lacking order. So I think that goes really good with our theme of change because we're at the beginning of the year and there's a lot of change that's going to take place. But using inchoate in a sentence, the inchoate energy of the new year should feel like endless possibilities. Or, unable to articulate his thoughts, there was an inchoate sense of purpose and development within him. But bringing that to the new year, for all of us, your inchoate ideas hold endless possibilities or potential. Nurture this year. Back to you, Jon. I'm not
John,
sure
you
your
can call me
role.
Toastmaster of the day.
Thank
Just call me, as they say. Well, I must say, sometimes I feel inchoate on Thursday evening, but I just go to the website, Masters of Evaluation. I look at agenda, remind myself what a Toastmaster of the day does. I familiarize myself with the members, and I'm not so inchoate on Friday morning. At least that's the dream. Sometimes we have people who drop out late. It happens, life happens, but we are so good at filling in the spots. We now have a new timer. Tamara, what will you be doing, and what technology will you be leaning on in these duties?
My skills of a timer are still inchoate because it's my first time of being the timer, but I came prepared. I knew that sooner or later I might be asked to do it. So since my computer does not have this necessary colors, I will be using this. So for the speeches, 5 minutes this, 6 minutes this, 7 minutes this, and the same colors, the same way to evaluators, but on 3 minutes will be red, 2 minutes yellow, and 1 minute green. I hope I'll cope.
So you'll be
And
fine.
I'll
You will not be
be,
inchoate. You will not be inchoate.
thank you, thank you.
I've seen the future. Thank you, Tamara.
I'm not hopeless, I just need encouragement.
You're doing great. We now are going on to the speeches. As you know, the MoE way is to have the evaluator start with some opening comments because he or she has spoken to their speaker. So I introduce DTM Judith Ferber for our first speaker. Judith?
Unmute here. Let's find the form. Here is the form. Okay, so Vicky's first speech was to distinguished Toastmaster. The purpose of this speech, this project is for the member to demonstrate his or her skill as a leader and a public speaker. The purpose of this first speech is for the member to introduce his or her plan and vision. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Great. Thank you very much. I see that the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Tamara, how does that look?
Wonderful, wonderful.
So when would you show the green? 5?
5 minutes green, 6 minutes yellow, and 7 minutes red.
she's never long-winded, but if she were to go 7 minutes and 31 seconds, in other words, violate the sacred timing rules, what noises, faces, or poems would you be hitting her with? Should we be forewarned? Or would it be an inchoate blathering?
Oh, I don't know. I hope this won't happen. But would you like me to make some kind of a sound after 7 minutes, 30 seconds?
It's a big ask, but be as nasty and ugly as you can. I know it's not in your nature. All right, we move on to this speech.
Wait, one thing.
Yes.
Mara, would you please pin yourself so you're in the upper left-hand corner of the screen? Raise your hand. Virtual? No, virtual.
Virtual. Oh, shucks, I don't remember how to do that. Will you help me? I click on more.
It's under reactions.
Under reactions. I see reactions. I see raise hand.
There you go.
There you are. Perfect.
Oh, I am. So.
And as we're doing that, we're reminding everyone to mute. We should only hear the Toastmaster and the speaker at this point. Then I will mute, as painful as that is. I'm capable of it. Okay. The next speech, do we agree on the timing as being amended to 8 to 10? Is that correct, Mr. Sweeney? So green at 8, yellow at 9, red at 10. And that was a great noise you made, Tamara. All right, we are now moving on to our second speaker, Ray Sweeney. He's an LD5. He's working the leadership development pathway. Reflect on your path. That's right. He's gone up this all the way to the very top, and he's looking back on the experiencing and sharing what he learned from it. Ray Sweeney, born in Ireland, grew up in England, and now living in Spain. He's well-traveled, and on Friday mornings, he's one who leans in on reflection. I give you Ray Sweeney. Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Raise your hand if you've heard this quote before. This quote resonates deeply with the essence of my own journey in Toastmasters and beyond. It's about avoiding procrastination and jumping straight in. It's also something we hear often, but we're rarely sure if we've made the right choices along the way. As they say, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. So where does this leave us? Well, we look at what's available. And at one point, I had 11 paths to choose from. I tried to align my choice with my long-term goals. And for me, leadership development stood out. It aligned with the characteristics of where I wanted to grow. So in July 2020, I signed up. And my approach was slightly different. At that time, I wanted to improve my Spanish proficiency. So I thought, what if I completed this path in 2 languages? My goal was to create speeches that I could deliver in both English and Spanish. It was a bold move and it had its fair share of challenges. July 2020 was also the height of COVID, and the world had shifted to online meetings. This change opened up incredible opportunities to speak. So with the press of a button, we could join meetings in Mexico, the Philippines, or England from a laptop in Europe. It was brilliant. Inspired by this, I set an ambitious goal. I'm going to attend 30 meetings in 30 different countries within 30 days. I accomplished it, but by the end of it, I was completely burnt out and I needed a holiday. It was a fun challenge and I made a lot of new friendships and connections to great speakers around the world who I'm still in contact with today. And that also introduced me to new speaking opportunities. And I'm sure that must be the case for you also. So from July 2020 to now, my journey has been filled with growth. I've competed in district contests, becoming a finalist twice, and even a runner-up in district evaluation contests. This year, I took on the role as a division director. Life as we know it has its bumps along the road, but it's these experiences you pick up along the way that are preparing you for future challenges. In the past 2 years, I've completed a triple accredited coaching diploma focused on positive psychology, alcohol-free living, and other areas. And Toastmasters has complemented this coursework perfectly. Many of my projects and speeches were pivotal in both settings, creating PowerPoint presentations, delivering viewpoints, and honing my listening skills, all of which were already advanced thanks to Toastmasters, which give you a significant advantage. Reflecting on my journey, I'm struck by how much I've learned. My level 1 icebreaker project was a memorable start, and repeating it in Spanish was a real challenge. It was my first time writing and delivering a speech in another language, and every detail had to be similar. Not the same, but similar. Grammar, pronunciation, pauses, tone. Well, Toastmasters' evaluation and feedback model proved invaluable for this. Level 2 introduced me to managing time, understanding leadership skills, mentoring. A fantastic introduction to guidance and support. So without diving into every level, let me ask, how did you feel after giving your icebreaker speech? For me, it was exhilarating. The icebreaker is the most exciting project because it offers endless possibilities. Progressing through the levels, I connected with storytelling, used presentation software effectively, created impactful visual aids, and these skills are essential for professionalism. As I aspire to become a professional speaker, Toastmasters has provided a safe and supportive environment to learn and grow. So reflecting further, the last 4 years as a Toastmaster have been transformative. The online environment allowed me to interact with people worldwide, making lasting friendships and joining clubs in different countries. I'm currently active in 4 districts, spanning over 10 countries, and I regularly attend their meetings. This variety has been instrumental in my growth as a Toastmaster and a coach. However, there's a downside to being so active online. I've stepped away from speaking in real life. Now, I need to pivot back to in-person meetings, prioritizing stage time and embracing opportunities to speak live. As a famous Toastmaster once said, stage time, stage time, stage time. So knowing what I know now, I will look for the balance to attend both formats equally. Looking ahead, my goal is to increase in-person meeting attendance for myself by 50 to 100%. So in 2025, while maintaining my online connections with Toastmaster families across the globe. As I continue as a division director, I aim to leverage this experience in person and strive to communicate fluently in both English and Spanish. My ultimate goal is to achieve DTM within the next year. Yes, I know, I've just said it out loud, but it will happen. But let me turn the focus to you. How do you feel about your path? Where is it leading you? Are you actively pursuing your goals, or have they been sidelined? And if they have, I encourage you to seize the opportunity. As the saying goes, when you're inside the jar, you can't read the label. Sometimes we need to step back and reflect to see the true value of our journey. So take the first step today, because your future self will thank you. Toastmasters is an unparalleled opportunity to enhance your learning, communication, and relationships. It can elevate your career and it can change how others perceive you. First, it might seem like a lot of effort, but breaking it into manageable steps makes all the difference. Remember, you can't connect the dots looking forward, only looking backwards. So start now and let the future reveal its magic. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ray. You connected a few dots for me. I appreciate that. Let's take 60 seconds to give feedback to Ray. And Tamara, could you give us a timers report, please? For the two speeches.
Vicky's speech was 7 minutes 49 seconds, and Ray's speech was 7 minutes 39 seconds.
Great. We are done with the 60 seconds. We are now transitioning to our table topics, MoE style, which is table topics which snap evaluations. So we'll just to refresh our memory, there'll be a person will be asked a table topic, and then the table topic master will ask from all of us or any of us what our snap evaluation is. That, and the snap evaluation is a minute or less, and you should focus on an impression and at least one area of improvement. So an impression and a suggestion. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our table topic master, Sir David Robert Vardy Thompson, fully seen. Thank you. And if you could unmute yourself. There you go.
How's that?
You're perfect.
That was not a dramatic pause. That was me handling the technology. Ladies and gentlemen, pause for a second. You have no longer than a second unless you are very clever or you are a superb politician. Why do we learn to speak impromptu? To be even better when we are asked the question that we cannot answer, and many people get away with it. But as Toastmaster, we probably notice more and more often the aspiring politician or indeed leader who cannot speak off the cuff. And yet we can, after a while, become adept at using language like a wand or a sword, and we smother any opposition and we bring people along with us. So what I am going to do is I'm going to ask a few questions, and the questions could be to any of you, and I'm going to ask any of you to evaluate and indeed to give a very quick evaluation. As we've already been told, an impression and perhaps a tip. So we'll make it nice and quick if I can read my own writing. So let's begin with this question. What impact do you want to leave on the world? What impact do you want to leave on the world? And that is for Pamela, please. Pamela, what impact do you want to leave on the world?
Thank you, David, for that question. Obviously, my response is inchoate because it's off the cuff. So I would say the most important thing that we leave on the earth, of course, is the impressions that we leave with the people that love us, that we love the most, things that we have done and touched them, memories. At the end of the day, does it really matter what we achieve? Yes, some people, my husband is like, my books, those are the things that carry on. And I always say, it's what you leave people with. When my father passed away, even the hard things that he left, even the challenges, I smile at because those taught me the lessons. So I hope what I leave on the world is just a feeling that people know they are loved and to see the good in themselves. And I hope that I will leave that energy of them knowing that I saw the good in them and that they can continue to see the good in others. So I see the green, and I'm going to say, I hope that you all have a year of wonderful memories and lots of seeing the good in ourselves and carrying that on with others. I told you it was incoherent, so right back at you, David.
Thank you very much, Pamela. Next question for any of you, but it's actually going to be somebody I'm going to tell.
Rule of order, David, if you might ask someone to do a snap on that before you pose your next table
Yes,
question.
the
Thank
snap is by Pat, please. Pat, can you give us a quick evaluation of that first speech?
Thank you, Pamela, for a really wonderful account of a very difficult question. What impact are you going to leave in the world? It requires that you had already had some deep thought about this, which I think you always have. So there was nothing inchoate at all about that answer. I thought it was well considered, it was beautifully expressed, and it was fed into the basics things that we would like to leave behind us when we leave the world. The very simple things, the impressions that we make on people, and the impressions that we hope that they will make on others. So I thought your answer was beautiful. It was well constructed, and as I said, there was nothing inchoate at all. Congratulations.
Thank you there, Pat. Okay, next question for anyone, until they're told who it is. What lifts your spirits when life is getting you down? What lifts your spirits when life is getting you down? And that is for Mariori, if I've pronounced her name correctly. Mariori, would you like to tackle what lifts your spirits when life is getting you down?
I don't see her in the meeting.
Ah, no, okay. Well, how about Kathy Choice? Would you have a go at that one, please? What lifts your spirits when life is getting you down?
What gets my spirit when life is getting me down is going to the beach. I am so thankful that I live probably 7-8 miles from the ocean, from the sea, as some people call it. So I'm here at the Pacific. I get to go there. I have a really special place that I go to that is kind of secluded, and all I'm hearing is the ocean. So hearing the ocean waves and hearing them come in and go out, and that rhythmic sound allows that stress that is within me to just dissipate. So it just becomes an inchoate location for me that's full of possibility, but that possibility is relaxation, peace, and stressless. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much indeed. And for the feedback, could we have Ray, please?
You certainly can, Mr. Vardy Thompson. Thank you very much. Kathy, I like the way you answered that, because you took us on a very personal experience of what the beach means to you, the ocean and the sea, and it was your special place. And I felt like you were inviting us in and sharing that with us. You're very descriptive. You used some great language there and explained to us how your stress dissipates. What I could have seen you doing a little bit better was a call to action at the end and make it relevant towards our audience. You shared that personal story, but how does it relate to us and what can we gain from it? So in essence, call to action, and that would have rounded it up nicely. Back to you, Mr. Vardy Thompson.
Thank you very much. Okay, next question. What have you ever regretted? No, sorry. Have you ever regretted something you did not do or did not say? Have you ever regretted something you did not say or did not do? And that, please, is for Michael. Michael, would you like to have a go at that, please?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. And thank you for the ability to be honest and say, man, do I hate that question. It's none of your business, people, what I regret. It's very personal. But if I were to be really honest, I would say I regret misunderstanding a bit of advice my father gave to me as I was just finishing college at a very ripe young age of 22. And I remember we were standing in the laundry room of our house, sometimes a place where you were on the way somewhere else, maybe trying to get out and away from your parents and escape any kind of, parental control. And you almost made it to the garage in the car and getting away, and they stop you there and having a discussion about the future that you didn't plan to next to the dirty clothing. And him saying, son, remember to do what you love and the money will follow. And I was, I guess, in a rush. I don't know. I was paying attention partially. My hearing was only inchoate, but I translated that as I ran out the door as not do what you love, the money will follow. I just sort of heard do what you think is fun. And the money didn't necessarily follow from that. So I wish I'd heard that better. Thank you for letting me be so vulnerable, David. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much indeed. Right, so who's going to evaluate that? I think it will be Vicky, please. Vicky, if you're still here, please fire away with your evaluation.
It looks like she stepped away, but I know Sheila would love to answer that.
Okay, fire away, please.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra, for the volunteer. Tough question, Michael. I was hoping I wouldn't get that question, but I kind of did because I got you to evaluate on that question. I love the way you came out with humor. Humor with you is honesty. And you said none of you people's business with what I regretted. Really, that's kind of personal. So that adding that element of humor is so amazing. You have an ability to do that off the cuff. You added the personal story. So personal story and humor in any type of story or impromptu draws our attention in. I'm going to copy Ray on my suggestion is the call to action for the audience. You could have said, so the next time someone speaks to you, really hear that message and think about it and try to digest instead of letting it go by the wayside like I did. Well done. Love your energy, love your humor, and love your personal stories. Just add a call to action at the end and voila, you got it.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm glad you appeared at the drop of a hat. Great. Okay, next question. Is it more important to love or to be loved? Is it more important to love or to be loved? And that will be Harold, please.
Fellow Toastmasters, let me tell you this. I'm an only child. I'm selfish. To be loved. Oh, that's right. Yes, I know you should love everyone. You should think about them and be considerate. We're civilized here. But the whole point is it's all so nice when someone thinks about you and cares about you and you like to like someone. So many betrayals in the world. Yes, you should reach out with a positive attitude. At least if you can't love, like them. That's something you can do. Like them. And then you can you're on the road. Yes, that's on the pathway to possible love. Now, you're saying how love is such a powerful emotion, is so overused, and we get it every day. So, yes, being loved is great. Loving someone is great. To choose either or, if you're loving, you probably will be loved. If you're loving, because that's radiating, that makes you magnetic, attracts it to you, a positive attitude. And I suggest you try to live in a way that allows you to be positive, magnetic, loving, and likable. Fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you very much. And the quick evaluation, please, from Pat. Pat's still here. Good. Second time up.
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Table Topics Master. Harold, you always nail it every time you stand up or put yourself in front of the mic to speak. It's always well thought out, even though I know that it's coming as a stream of consciousness, but I think that you're a conscious person that has thought these thoughts before, so they're not necessarily alien to you, so they flow, and they flow beautifully. I'm very much of the view that love is how you feel about yourself in the presence of others, and to love is to give back to somebody, and from that will come back love to you. So I'm fully in agreement with your thoughts on that. As to improve, I'm not sure that I could make much suggestion for improving, because I thought the fluency with which you answered that question was excellent. There was nothing at all inchoate about it, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Now, please excuse this next question if it seems indelicate, but I have to ask you. If a doctor gave you 5 years to live, what would you try to accomplish? If a doctor gave you 5 years to live, what would you try to accomplish? And that's for Michael, please.
Well, all right. It's just mistakes and death today. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. All right. 5 years to go. There's been some family illness that we've been going through in the last 5 to 10 years, and it is sobering. It's a humbling thing to think about how short this candle burns, how quickly it burns out. And I think today, with this question in my ears, I think 5 years seems like a good long chunk of time. I've been focusing on one day and one set of goals for the day, not a New Year's resolution, but more of a what can I do today since I have this day? And 5 years of these days seems actually exciting. And so it would be, of course, my favorite things that I'm thinking of now: travel, another book to write, and I don't know, 500 speeches. That would be a nice goal. I'd love to give some more speeches. And then, of course, right near the end, a really large group of people standing around my deathbed, not like the restaurateur whose last dying words were, "Slice the ham thinner," but to just be there and be surrounded by all that stuff that Harold wants coming at me. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you. And we'll have a quick evaluation from Sandra, please.
Trying to spotlight and unspotlight. There I am. I'm going to add, I can't add myself. Okay, add spotlight, there we go. First of all, I love the way that Michael starts us all off with his answers because they lighten things up, makes humor, and then segues very nicely into what he has to say. I too am dealing with family that's passing very soon, and I have had this thought in my head about what do I want to accomplish. I mean, I've accomplished a lot. What is there left that's, well, then I had to go to what's most important. Is finishing my novel the most important thing I could do? Is visiting all my relatives the most important thing to do? And I think if I really get honest with myself, is to get honest with myself and do what makes me feel good and a contributor to society and to someone who demonstrates love to family and my husband, and just be a better person until I can't be anymore. That would, I like the way you brought in that whole realm from beginning to end, Michael. It really helped me with my thoughts. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Sandra. And that closes that element of the program. We'll return to Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Great questions, great snap evaluations, and no one blinked when they asked to do it a second time. Well handled. May I have a timers report tomorrow?
Sure. Table topics. Pamela, 1 minute 29 seconds. Pat, snap evaluation, 53 seconds. Cassie, 1 minute 10 seconds. Ray, snap evaluation, 45 seconds. Michael, 1 minute 42 seconds. Sheila, snap evaluation, 57 seconds. Harold, 1 minute 36 seconds. Pat, snap evaluation, 1 minute 10 seconds. Michael, the second time, 1 minute 42 seconds. And Sandra, 1 minute 21 seconds snap evaluation.
Great. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to transition and hand the meeting over to our general evaluator, Pamela Brody. Pamela?
Thank you very much. So, my input, do I announce the evaluators? Apologize, Toastmaster White.
Yeah, you might ask for the timing rules for evaluations and then introduce the evaluators.
Wonderful. All right. Can we get the timing rules for the evaluations?
Great.
So at 2 minutes, evaluators will see the green, at 2.5 yellow, and at 3 minutes red. This will be for evaluators, for grammarian, and for general evaluator in the end.
Harold, you are going to be giving an evaluation for all the way to Spain and our wonderful Ray Sweeney.
You know, Ray Sweeney is a great, skillful speaker. What caught me a little off guard, and I am very appreciative of John introducing Ray Sweeney. I got the impression, oh, I've been replaced. I can just sit back and listen to him now. Okay, because John is going to do the heavy lifting here. But, of course, I'm here to evaluate Ray Sweeney. He gave a speech. His speech was interesting. He laid out what he wanted to say in the first couple of minutes. One thing I would say, I got the distinct impression he could have been more fluid, not as if he's reading part of his speech. Just let it come right out. You know, you want to be a terrific speaker, people can feel this, can sense this. And he gave you ideas on how to be a very good speaker. His conclusion because at that time I decided, well, just in case John does not do any heavy lifting, I better make some notes here at the conclusion. Okay. He pointed out the magic, the skill of being a public speaker, and he made it quite interesting. He became what I would call kind of magnetic. You wanted to be like that. What he said. The key to interesting speaking, simplicity, using the power of pauses, punch up the idea. Pause for a second. You want to be a dynamic speaker, and you can be a dynamic speaker. How do you do that? Find something you like to talk about, read about, and share. And say it again and point out what it's done for you. And that will help. By being overly dramatic, you'll be memorable, I think. But I enjoyed the presentation. I enjoy Ray Sweeney's type of speech. I'm ready to buy the Ray Sweeney cassette tape when he brings it out. No Toastmasters.
Wonderful. Great evaluations. And now we're going to head to our definitely not in cahoot, Kathy, for the word of the day report, grammarian's report. As you.
Okay, thank you so very much. And for our word of the day in COET, I really expected John to use the word more than 5 times, the way he came out like a cannon using it. So the person who used it the most was actually John, and he used it 5 times. Other people did use it, and I think that was the point of the word, for us to be introduced to something new. Initially, when I spoke about my role, I did not go into the grammarian portion. However, I will say that a couple of the words that were used quite a bit were and so. I'm going to say I think that those are 2 words that we need to keep in mind that we can overuse a little bit. There was a phrase, there were actually 2 phrases, one phrase that was used that I really did like, which was, when inside the jar, you can't read the label. And I thought that was something to make you think about regarding perspective. Back to you, Madam Evaluator. No, I'm not giving that back to you. Yes, I am.
Yes, we got this. We got this. It's all inchoates, right? Every day we start.
Exactly. Thank you.
Is new and improv. So fantastic. Thank you very much, Kathy. And now I believe is the time that I do the evaluation song and dance for you, John. Great. Well, I would say guess what, everybody? We are so ahead of time. So that just means, what does that mean? We didn't get all our funny jokes in, or quips, or long New Year's revolutions. We're having revolutions right now because of Ray Sweeney's speech. We are all having revelations and revolutions in our own world, right? So we are ahead of schedule. The meeting ran very well. I was just, from where I sit, we started on time with the wonderful Tamara starting out with her amazing poem and poetry. And what a wonderful way to start the meeting, with her bright light that she always shines, and creative and insight that she brings so wonderfully well to all of us. So I want to applaud her. And it's always a good day when Jon White is the Toastmaster, picking it up and throwing things around. It brings that wonderful spirit as well. And we had 2 fantastic speeches. Vicky, I'm obviously always looking forward to hearing from her and learned a lot personally, followed by Ray all the way in Spain. And that was amazing. The evaluations were up on top of that, and the evaluators did a great job with Judith. Always finding when, you know, you say, wow, how do you evaluate Vicky? You always find a lot of great insights and specific things that we can do. And I think that's fantastic, Judith. What you evaluated me last time, and I'm just getting to respect your evaluation skills even more. Wonderful job. And then we had Harold bringing love, and what a hard person to evaluate. I think Ray's speech was fantastic, definitely inspired me, and I think you as well, Harold, to, you know, look at what we can do and the potential. I think that was so important. Harold, you did a great job of highlighting what he had to give, and definitely, as I love the connecting the dots. We will connect the dots in the future of how we all got here, and that's really something there were so many little juicy insights. So thank you very much, and Harold, for doing a great job. And Kathy, what a word! What a word. Who knew that word? Raise your hand if you knew that word before. No, not at all. So very creative, Kathy, to dig deep. And I think we're smarter because now we have inchoate in our knowledge. So, and wonderful job to Toastmasters, David. Wow, you really went deep on us all. You really had incredible questions. They weren't surface level. They were really made us all think about deep things that we all wanted to hear from, and I think it touched a lot of our hearts. I would say just what to grow on is just be careful of not asking the same person to do the topic and the snap evaluator. Make sure that you're asking different people. There were a couple people who actually weren't asked, and then there were a couple people that were asked twice, so we could improve upon that. And that is my evaluation. And right back to you, Master Toastmaster.
Great. Thank you so much. Real quickly, my Toastmasters report. I always like to reflect on the things that I'm reminded of. So I want to thank Dave, or who do I want to thank? Vicky and Ray. When we talked about better to love or to be loved, the highest form of Toastmasters love is service, right? So I thank you for being a club coach and a division director, and I thank our board and everyone that's contributed to Toastmasters. Also want to thank Ray for reminding us of the only way that we get better, stage time, which is to say we need to participate. If you want to get better, you have to log on, you have to take on a role, even the ones that are uncomfortable, and that's the only way you get better. In many ways, life is very simple. It's the execution of the simple things that can be difficult. So thank you for that. And then Sheila, I always love this. I'm not always a call to action. I'm more a stay in the bed late in the morning. How did it get to be 10 a.m.? But Sheila always puts a fine point, which is when you share something with us, what are we to do with it? So a call to action is always a nice way to wrap it up. And I think maybe that's absent in many of our speeches and our shares. And then finally, I want to thank Michael and Harold. Sometimes we get these table topics and they're these lofty questions, and you go into what would Jesus do? What would Gandhi do? And I just want to say you're neither of those people, Michael and Harold, and you were honest and upfront. And in that way, the humor and the honesty, I'm selfish, I'm an only child. All of a sudden, we're connected to your humanity. He's not that guy. He's not better than us. And I really love the way that changes the energy. And speaking of energy, a final tip of the cap to Kathy Choice as the one who embodied in the voice and the mannerisms her answer. She was at that beach. Her feet were in the sand. I mean, you really could feel that she was answering and feeling her answer at the same time. So with that, it was a wonderful meeting. There has been change. Vicky Cherbosh, we may be ending early. I can't believe I'm saying that. We may do that. Someone give her some water and some air. She's about to pass out. I turn it over to our president, who's doing a great job as we enter the second half of a great year. Sandra Savage.
All right. Closed. Thank you all for our meeting for the first time this year, and we will see you on the 17th.